Wednesday Showdown is brought to you by your Tampa Bay area Mazda dealers. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to an evening of Rays baseball. Tonight, we again greet you from Comerica Park in Detroit. This is the third and final game of this series and the final game on this 9-game road trip. With Brian Anderson, Dwayne Stats, great to have you aboard. Well, the Rays not having the road trip they had hoped. 3-5, despite the offense. Actually, over a month now, the offense has been very good. 3 consecutive losses, at least 10 hits in every loss. And J.P. Arencibia, since coming up from Durham, has led an offensive charge.
Listen, he's been biding his time in Durham, doing his thing. He gets the opportunity, and guess what? J.P. Arencibia has seized it, especially you look at his last 6 games on this road trip. That's where it's been, and it has been, I'll tell you what, he forces you into good spots as a pitcher. If you don't put pitches in good spots with these swings, he is doing damage. Mistakes are getting crushed. We've seen him pull some long homers to center. We've seen him go out to right. Right now, everything working for J.P. Arencibia, and you hope that continues here.
Jay Odorizzi on the hill tonight for the Rays after his 7th win. His last victory came against this Tiger Ball club when the Rays beat them 10-2 at Tropicana Field on the 28th of July. Since then, 2 losses and 5 no decisions. So Jake Odorizzi tonight after victory number 7. He'll be opposed by a left-hander, Kyle Lobstein. Back in Detroit with a wrap-up game of the series in a moment. Let's go places. By Outback Steakhouse, curbside takeaway. Order online at Outback.com. And by Morgan Auto Group. Make it Morgan. We make it happen.
Web Wednesday. So that means send me all of your questions at sunsportsrays@gmail.com. If you want to email, if you want Twitter. We're having a sunflower shower from Chris Archer. Go ahead and tweet us at sunsportsrays. I will be taking your questions throughout the show, so be sure to send them now instead of later. Dwayne, back up to you.
All right. Thank you very much, Emily. Beautiful night here in Detroit. Temperature will be in the mid-70s as the Rays and the Tigers wrap up this three-game series. Let's take a quick look at the starting lineup for the Rays tonight. Presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Brandon Guyer will lead it off again and play center field. Mikey Montook in right, followed by Evan Longoria at third, hitting third. The DH is Logan Forsythe. Has Drupal Cabrera at shortstop with Tim Beckham at second. James Loney at first, hits seventh. In the number 8 spot in left field, Richie Schaefer and J.P. Arancibia will do the catching and bat ninth.
Well, taking the mound tonight, another left-hander the Rays are going to face. It's Kyle Lobstein, making his 10th start of the season, but just his second since coming off the disabled list. He went on the disabled list back in May, left shoulder soreness. Actually, ended up on the 60-day. Went on a rehab assignment, activated in his last start against the Indians, 4 1/3 innings, 6 earned runs given up, so he is looking to settle back in.
And the first pitch of this game to Brandon Guyer is a strike call. First pitch presented by Pinch-A-Penny. Guyer starts the night hitting .269. One and one. See the numbers on Guyer. A very respectable on-base percentage for Guyer at .363. Sends a high fly ball into left, and Collins goes back looking up and makes the catch for the out.
Well, let's take a look at that Tiger defense and see how it's going to line up tonight. Brought to you by BMW in the outfield left to right. Tyler Collins, Anthony Goes, and J.D. Martinez. And across that infield third to first, Nick Castellanos, Dixon Machado, Ian Kinsler, and Jeffrey Marte with Alex Avila behind the plate.
Here's Mikey Montook. One ball, no strikes. One and one. Lobstein, 26 years old, born in Flagstaff. And originally in the Rays organization. Hot shot foul down by the coaching box at third. It's 1 and 2. Lobstein started his pro career in the Rays system in 2009 at Hudson Valley. Two and two. He made it to the Double-A level with Montgomery. And then into the Tigers system. The ground ball toward the middle, and the young shortstop Machado makes a nice play, scampering over to field that ball.
That very apt description, scampering over, trying to get up the middle. Machado, he got the footwork going, he gets it, puts himself in position, and makes a nice throw. That was a very nifty play by the Tiger shortstop. And as we've seen already, Kyle Lobstein is not going to blow anybody away. He is a true finesse left-hander, not a ton of deception in the delivery, and he needs to be on point with his command.
And the pitch to Longoria, soft and on the corner for a strike. And finds that spot out there again, 0-2.
Well, that's the way he has to pitch. He has to pitch to the edges. He's got a good changeup. We've seen that already. Has good arm speed with it. But he's the type of pitcher that if he is missing out over the plate, you're going to hear loud cracks.
Fly ball lifted into center. Gose is there, and he makes the catch in front of J.D. Martinez. 3 up, 3 down, go the Rays. Bottom of the first coming. No score. We'll take a look at the Tiger lineup presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Anthony Gose there going to lead off, the center fielder, followed by Ian Kinsler, and then Miguel Cabrera. J.D. Martinez hitting 4th in front of Nick Castellanos. Tyler Collins at left hitting 6th. Jeffrey Marte 7th in front of the catcher Alex Avila. And Dixon Machado is at shortstop, batting 9th.
Well, and for Jake Odorizzi here tonight, it's repeat performance. He would like to do exactly what he did to this team the last time he faced them. 6 innings, 1-run baseball, and picking up a win. And that was his last win, and that was at the end of July the 28th.
Anthony Gose looks at a strike. He's hitting .256. It's 1-1. Gose against right-handers frequently in that leadoff spot. And when he plays against lefties down lower and oftentimes ninth. Back through the middle, grabbed by Cabrera, throw to first, that's not going to be in time. Loney had to leave the bag to corral the throw. It got through Odorizzi. He made a swipe at it. Cabrera made a great stop, but it's a base hit for Gose.
And the reason that the throw was a little bit wide is because the throw was rushed. I mean, Cabrera knows who's running. So by the time he gets there, boy, you got to get rid of it like right now. You still may not have gotten him, but you don't have really any time to set your feet. That's a tough angle to throw from, and just a little bit wide.
Well, here's Ian Kinsler. Check swing. Odorizzi back to second, 1 over to first for 2 with Beckham in the middle.
Yeah, and let me tell you something right now. This is a pretty double play because Tim Beckham hangs right in there to make the throw. He's got Anthony Gose bearing right down on him, and he concedes no ground. Watch this. Jake Odorizzi quickly, no ground. He stays right there, hangs in, and makes a nice throw. Nice job by Tim Beckham.
And nice to erase Gose with his speed. Base is empty now for Miguel Cabrera. 1 ball, no strikes. Cabrera leading the majors in hitting at .351, and he's been like that since he's come off the disabled list, keeping up that pace. What a hitter he is to watch.
He really is. He just has such a good idea of what pitchers are trying to do to him. And think about this, Dwayne. You know, he's the type of hitter that's never going to see the same sequence twice from the pitcher. You're going to mix things up. You're going to throw to all 4 quadrants, a lot of off-speed, fastballs on the edges, and he still puts those numbers up. Pretty remarkable.
And hits the ball hard, as he does here, down into the left field corner. He's on his way to second and will arrive ahead of the throw with a stand-up double. His 27th double of the year.
Now this pitch moving down and in, and it's just a matter of dropping the bat head. Solid contact with the baseball. Rattle it down into the corner, and a 2-out double. Scoring chance here for the Tigers.
J.D. Martinez. It's foul back off the facing of the press level.
Well, let's take this opportunity to set the Rays defense for you. Brought to you by BMW. A different look in the outfield. Left to right, we've got Richie Schaefer, Brandon Geyer, and Mikey Montauk. And across that infield, third to first, Evan Longoria, Jubal Cabrera, Tim Beckham, and James Loney with J.P. Arancibia behind the plate.
91 runs batted in for Martinez, 6th in the league in that category. Lifts it to the right side. Loney's after it. So's Montauk into foul territory, and he can't catch up to it. It drops foul for strike 2. Quite a combination here of Cabrera and Martinez with the kind of production they have put up. And there's a foul ball. Rays have not seen Victor Martinez in this series. He remains under the weather, and from time to time still slowed by a less than 100% knee.
And he's got some years left on that contract.
Yeah, a 4-year deal, this being the first year. So that will extend through age 39. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And frankly, there's concern that that knee will ever approach 100%.
And it's twofold. It's the years left on the deal, the age at the end of it. But how about the dollars? It's a lot of dollars to be tied up into a guy that you're hoping can go. And if he does go, he can hit, no doubt. But can he stay healthy?
Yeah, he is a super craftsman, and we mean that in the most complimentary way as a hitter. He is some hitter.
I mean, from both sides.
Yep.
Just another guy like Miguel Cabrera. Such a good idea of what pitchers are trying to do, what they're trying to accomplish, what they're going to ultimately end up getting to. Don't make a mistake to him, and he'll hit. Sometimes he'll hit the good pitches.
A ball, 2 strikes to J.D. Martinez. Two and two.
Jake Odorizzi getting that, I think that front cleat on his stride towards home plate. I don't know whether it slipped, whether it just caught funny. But that was not a clean delivery. That's what led to that pitch way out of the zone.
Martinez stepping back. Cut to miss. He strikes him out. 2 hits, a man left at second. No score through 1. Wrapping up the current series and the season series between these two clubs. Right now the Rays 2-3 against Detroit. Logan Forsythe, the designated hitter, facing the left-hander Kyle Lobstein. First pitch is a strike. Ground ball, backhanded by Machado, and his throw to first in time. So we've seen the young shortstop be impressive here on a couple of plays already.
Now moving to his left in the first inning, now moving to his right here in the second inning, then setting his feet, a strong throw. Watch him set those feet, a little crow hop, and put it on the money.
Tigers signed him out of Venezuela. He's 23 years old. He's been in their system for a while and has consistently shown them great athleticism at shortstop. That's Drupal Cabrera. 1 ball, no strikes. Cabrera hitting .264. Down to short again. Routine, and Machado's throw is on the money. 2 up and 2 down. So we've seen 5 outs and 3 ground ball outs, and that's something Lobstein is getting more of. He was with this Tiger club just for a handful of games a year ago, and not nearly the ground balls last year as he's gotten in the handful of outings he's had this year.
You know, if you think about it, he's going to face a ton of right-handed hitters. He's going to get most of his outs by pitching away, and the stuff is inviting. Hitters see that fastball 85, 86, and they want to hammer it. So he stays away from the righties. They want to do damage, which means they're trying to pull. Well, you try to pull pitches away, and you're going to see that. You're going to see more ground balls.
Keeps shortstop busy.
It sure does. Machado already with the workout.
1-1.
You know, when a guy's throwing 85, 86 after you've been seeing 95, 96 for the last couple of games, you know, on a given start, you don't want to take him the other way.
And you saw the range of speed there, 77 to 86 so far, topping out at 86. And that is strike 3 call to Beckham. The first strikeout posted. Bottom of the second coming, no score. Tigers making a great gesture before the game, recognizing the men and women from the area's fire departments, the police forces, and emergency medical personnel, and members of both teams out to greet and to say thank you to the men and women. Well, they do great work, and sometimes at great peril for the sake of public safety. And a great gesture there by the Detroit Tigers. Jake Odorizzi set to go to work in the bottom of the second inning. Nick Castellanos, the third baseman, in there to lead off. That's a strike. Tyler Collins will follow, and then Jeffrey Marte. Longoria makes the throw to first. Castellanos is the first out. Speaking of ground balls, Odorizzi not yet a ground ball pitcher, as we know, more of a fly ball pitcher, but his ground ball rate is up this year compared to last year by about 10%, from somewhere around 30 to 40%.
And you'll take that, keep moving in that direction. Well, I think it was last year. I think he had one ground ball double play on the season. I mean, that's not easy to do. 7 this year. You attribute that a lot to that split. That's a pitch that'll get you some ground balls.
A little piece of that one by Tyler Collins, 1-1. Tyler Collins, the young left fielder in there, and he does look very much like a gentleman I once knew.
Yeah, yeah.
This pitch is down, 2-1.
He
I once had a partner who looked like that.
He left Dodge. It was going to be a Friday surprise.
Yep.
I was going to do it on the off day. Had it planned to do. And,
Served the other way into left. A hop in front of Schaefer, and Collins is aboard.
Yeah, I was so wired after that well-played ball game last night that went over 5 hours that I went back to the room. I was wired. I turned on the TV, and there was a special on.
Yep.
It was the Ken Burns Civil War special. And I was like, why wait? I was inspired. Yep. A lot of the old photos.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going for it. So at 3:45 in the morning. Right. That's what I'm doing at 3:45 in the morning. I'm doing this. What I was thinking was I wanted like a blend. Captain Jack Sparrow, that look, but also the Doc Holliday from Tombstone look.
I got you.
So just kind of mix them together.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to do something with the chin hair. I'm not real happy with how that looks, and apparently neither is anybody else.
Well, you sort of have the Civil War officer look forming there.
Yeah, and I want to be a little more rogue than that.
Yep.
Yeah. So we'll see how it turns out on Friday. It won't be much different, but there'll be some tweaking going on.
Okay, so day off tomorrow. Friday we're back.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see it.
Yeah. Well, it'll be similar, but it'll get cleaned up on the chin because that looks really absurd.
Pitch is down. 1-1.
So I guess it was a bad night for the Rays all around. and apparently an early morning. A bad early morning, too.
Well, hey, nothing good happens after midnight.
You're not kidding.
We proved that a couple times.
Just on this trip.
Yeah. 1-1 the count now to Marte. 1 on with 1 out. Jams him, and a popper into shallow center. And that ball is going to be caught in a nice play by Beckham. Going out there from second base.
That's 2 nice plays we've seen, hanging in on the double play and then covering some ground there with that little over-the-shoulder. Yeah, keep the eye on the baseball, then flip around real quick, see if there's any movement on the base paths.
2 outs. Collins still at first. Alex Avila, the veteran catcher. Avila for a good run, the #1 catcher here. He'd been sidelined with a bad left knee. James McCann has pretty much taken over, and Avila, in the spirit of passing it along, has assumed sort of a mentoring role for McCann. 1-0 the count to Avila.
And you can see the average, not exactly what Avila would want, but you look at his swing, and pitchers have been able to figure out where the weaknesses are. There's more than one, and they have really exploited that.
2-0 count.
The hitters like a little bit of lift in their swing. You don't want to be completely flat. A little bit of lift, but Alex Avila takes it to another level. And, I mean, he has a big-time uppercut. And, unfortunately, those kind of swings lead to some serious holes. But don't leave one out over the plate where he can lift it, because he does have big-time power.
And he takes this one upstairs, fastball high. It is 3-0. There's a strike. Rays have the shift on for Avila. Longoria alone on the left side. Over to first, and back in is Collins. Will take the count all the way out to 3-2. Ground ball, and out there in shallow right is Beckham. Floats his throw to first. A base hit, and the man left. On to the third inning, scoreless. Time for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag #SSDataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. Rays facing the 26-year-old left-hander Kyle Lobstein. James Loney in there against him tonight. Loney, Schaefer, and Aaron Sebia due up in the third. And a base hit shot through the right side on the first pitch. Boy, Loney is excellent. He is not afraid to go after that first pitch, and when he does, his average is quite impressive. A leadoff single here.
And typically it's because he's disciplined enough to not go after the first pitch unless it's in the area that he's looking. I mean, he'll pick out a spot, and if you're going to lay it out over the plate, he's not going to wait around. He'll work an at-bat, but if you give him something early, he's going to take it like he just did.
Ground ball off the bat of Schaefer to short. Kinsler in the middle, and it's a 6-4-3 double play. So no sooner does Loney single his way aboard on the first pitch, Schaefer grounds into a double play.
And you take a look at the Tiger defense, you see how they're lining up against Richie Schaefer, and then that ball off the bat, and you know it's right to Machado. He's already gotten his work in. He's good, and just started that double play.
So 2 outs with the bases empty. And here is J.P. Aaron Sebia.
And not a bad beginning to the inning when you can go 2 pitches, 2 outs, and have given up a hit.
1-1. Well, he has recorded through the first 2 2/3 here, 8 outs, and 5 of those outs can be accounted for on ground balls.
Let me ask you something. His last name, Kyle Lobstein, is that really his last name or just his style of pitching?
Well, he's certainly not going to overpower people. He's you talk about pitch to contact guy, this would be him.
I've seen that fastball 85 to 87, but he's missed pitches outside of the one to James Loney. He's missing off the plate. He's missing to the good areas.
This one popped up by Arancibia. And Machado waiting for that one to come down, and the Rays are out here in the third. No score.
Unlike BA, Kirk Casale is tweeting at Sun Sports Rays. He may be on the DL, but he is still showing his support by watching his Rays back at home. He is tweeting us, BA, I want you to listen up because I know you get a little distracted during breaks. He wants to know, can BA please tell me how to obtain a facial hair look like that? Hashtag jealous. I'm going to throw my own hashtag out there. Trendsetter, maybe? I mean, the Rays cannot start showing up to the field with that look.
Well, I'm going to tell you, Kurt, this is how you do it. You grow a beard, you keep the beard for 6-7 months, and then in the middle of the night, you start watching Civil War shows. And you just go to town. You find one of the looks on one of the soldiers, and you go to town. Watch, like I said, go Tombstone. Tombstone, the Doc Holliday look.
Yeah, here's Loney taking care of Machado for the first out.
Which is a classic.
You're starting to approach the Doc Holliday look.
Yeah. See, the thing is the Jack Sparrow look had a little bit of the chin hair. The Doc Holliday look is clean chin.
Now there's a variation that we just saw there. That's more of the chop and chin approach.
That's the Steve Pierce, but I really like my goatee, and I'm keeping that too. Yeah, I'm not one to talk. I can't say anything about it. I would have said something about that yesterday. I can't today.
There's a strike to Anthony Gose.
But you know what? I've got a razor in the bag right here.
Yeah.
And I can tighten up that chin hair in between innings if you'd like. Or we wait till Friday.
I'm really not offended.
I think I'm going to wait till Friday, and it's going to look like a diamond. And it will not look like that.
Hey, here's the thing. You go home, you can do it under supervision. Probably better off.
I don't know.
Do it once.
I don't know.
No, you're supposed to say yes.
Well,
because the supervisor probably is tuning in.
I've already been put on double secret probation.
There's a strike. It's 2-2. Back into the screen. By the way, speaking of Curt Casali, it was the deal involving Kyle Lobstein that allowed the Rays to get Curt Casali. Lobstein, in a roundabout way, he was picked in the Rule 5 draft by the New York Mets off the Rays. There's a base hit by Beckham. Ghost has got a head for second. The ball popping away out there in the outfield. Ghost is headed to third, and he's going to make it. He just kept on running. Aggressive base running, and a little letdown by the Rays defense there. No way Ghost should be at third.
No. You know, here's the thing. Off the bat, he hit that ball hard. He had designs on going to second anyway. You put a little bit of pressure on the defense because the ball's in the gap. Now you come over, and there's a little indecision. I mean, Brandon Guyer and Mikey Matuk, how often are they out there together? A little bit of communication problem. The ball bounces away, and you're right. Anthony Ghost never slowed up. I mean, he never hesitated. He ran that all the way without breaking stride, and now the Rays are forced to bring the infield in.
One out, a man at third on a double and an error charged to Guyer. That's the first error on Guyer this year.
And really, you had to give the air to somebody, but no one tried to field it. They both converged on the ball, and they both stopped. I guess it was whoever's foot the ball hit.
Kinsler lifts it up the right side. That's out of play, and the count is 1-1.
Well, here it is. Watch as they converge. It's right between them. Then everybody kind of just pulls off.
Pitch inside, and it then bounced off Guyer's left foot. You know, baseballs apparently are attracted to his body. He's been hit by pitches more than anybody in captivity. and that one, unfortunately, bounced off his left foot. And a line drive caught at third by Longoria. There you go. A hot shot down to third, and Evan made the catch.
Well, he's got range. You know, you're playing in, so your range is limited, but I mean range as far as reach. And right here, just about even with the bag, and then go up glove side and make a nice play. You know, here's the other thing. You know, when we talk about communication problems in the outfield, it's typically fly balls. Mm-hmm. Not often are you calling a ball on the ground, and I think that's what ends up happening. Both guys are just going for it. They sense the others right there. They back off. You're just not used to calling ground balls.
Another major challenge here. Cabrera takes a pitch inside. He doubled his first time. 2 for 3 in his career against the Rays right-hander. Two and 0. Upstairs. A 3-0 count with a runner at third. 2 outs. J.D. Martinez on deck.
Well, this is why when you fall behind Miguel Cabrera, you just don't mess around with him. Everything has to still be on the edges.
And up out of the zone, he walks. First walk issued by Odorizzi. He put another man on, but with him up there, you're not going to give him anything to hit. But here's another challenge in J.D. Martinez.
Very dangerous hitter. We've seen him, you know, he will chase out of the zone. We've seen him do it on the breaking ball. He chased a changeup out of the zone to strike out in his first at-bat. You got to get to 2 strikes, so you need quality pitches. But once you get ahead of him, he will expand that zone.
Up and in. Fastball. Tigers left a man on in the first inning, left a man on in the second, and Odorizzi trying to leave 2 men aboard here in this inning. High fly ball back into deep left center. Geyer's going to go to the track and leap. He made the catch just before he got to the wall. Geyer tracking that one all the way, a step from the wall, and then the leaping grab to retire the side. Mazda dealers from Detroit. Braves will add the top of the order to lead off the fourth. This is Brandon Geyer against Kyle Lobstein. Geyer lifts it down the right side. That'll tail back into the stands. Strike one.
You know, that was a really nice job by Jake Odorizzi. Sometimes it's the defense picking up a pitcher, making a great play, a diving, play, saving, taking extra bases away. You think about the line drive to Evan Longoria, and sometimes it's the pitcher picking up the defense, is what he did after that error allowed Ghost to get to third.
It's up the right side, off that sidewall.
Those plays are tough to make on their own, let alone carrying the chair that you were sitting on. Just leave it there. He's young.
Yeah, a little experience will have him leaving the chair.
Yeah.
And just make the play.
That ball was whistling down there fast enough. Don't add to the degree of difficulty.
But it shows a certain degree of responsibility, so you're impressed by that.
You're hired.
Yeah. Going to protect property and try to make the play. It's a ball, 2 strikes to the count. We were talking last inning, Lobstein out of the Rays system, and they lost him to the Mets in the Rule 5 draft, and then the Mets sent him to the Tigers for cash. And in the middle of all that, the Rays got Kurt Casale. There's a fly ball into center, caught by Ghost. The Tigers wanted to keep Lobstein in spring training, and so in order to do that, Kurt Casale wound up in the Rays organization. Boy, the Rays are happy about that.
Well, the development of Kurt Casale defensively to go along with what we've seen offensively, I mean, the limited playing time that he's gotten. How about the 10 home runs?
Yep, double-figure home runs. Montook takes a pitch outside. You know, that had to do with an aggressive approach at the plate, and I think we've seen the Rays, we mentioned it briefly at the top of the show, how the offense has been much better since the first part of August.
Yeah.
And that seemed to coincide with the more aggressive approach.
And those 10 home runs, Dwayne, are in 101 at-bats. That is a tremendous rate. I mean, 1 of every 10.
Yep.
You start to do the math.
Yeah, all you need, 400 at-bats, you got 40 home runs.
You're really good at math.
Yeah. I mean, just like that.
It's been all year, though. This has been the year of the number.
Yep.
For everybody.
Strike now, it's 3-1. Here you are. Well, look, right there.
I mean, I would start checking things off that mattered, but they all matter. I mean, look at the runs. Almost a full run more. Average runs in scoring position.
Montook draws the walk. Well, you average 5 or 4.5 runs these days. That's significant.
I'll give you that. We'll check the slugging percentage. That tells you that the guys are freewheeling, that they're letting it fly.
I like that approach.
It's fun to watch.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, how many times early in the year, 7 hits, 2 runs, now you expect this team to get to double-digit hits. And it's just how many runs are going to come with it. And that is fun.
Strike to Longoria. Well, how frustrating was it? I know it's frustrating to the guys in the batter's box and collectively trying to score runs, but to see so many good pitches taken for strikes.
Yeah. Looking for something else, looking to work an at-bat, maybe getting, stuck looking for a particular pitch that never comes. I mean, you just don't know what the reasons were, but you're right, you don't see that anymore. I mean, if you see a Ray hitter now, typically, especially with 2 strikes, take a fastball, it's because it was just premier location, and it just locks them up. They don't take those balls out over the middle anymore.
I mean, and you're right. Occasionally, you're going to see a hitter get locked up that way. But it was happening so frequently in the early part of the year that it was abnormal to what you normally would see, I guess, which would make it abnormal. Pitch is down. 2-1. It was a great stop on that second pitch by Avila. Well, the Rays with their second base runner on the walk. Montook at first. Rays coming in 4 games under 500. First time they've been that many games under 500 all year. Base hit, line through the hole on the left side. Montook advances to second. Evan is aboard. Well, the Rays with a little something cooking here. 1 out into the 4th inning. Reminder, Rays fans, every Friday will be Flashback Rays Day, brought to you by Jeep. Just submit the best vintage photo of yourself by using the hashtag #FlashbackRays. We'll select the best photo and feature it in the postgame show. Somebody will select it. We, the 2 of us, will not be selecting those photos, but someone will. We're not quite sure who we is.
We present. Actually, you present. I'm not allowed anymore.
There's a strike to Logan Forsythe. I think in the interest of truth, we just go, we're not going to be selecting those. Somebody will, and we don't even know, so don't even ask us.
Yeah, we can't rig it for you.
No. A 2-strike count to Logan. Logan, the American League Player of the Week. Well, he's been so consistent for the Rays all year. His story has really been a good one to chronicle. Getting a chance to play every day. He's taken advantage of that opportunity. His Had great effort.
And I'll tell you what, Logan, not complete wholesale changes, but he definitely trimmed that beard up from last night.
Might have been watching the same public TV station you were watching.
Until 5 a.m. I mean, get a life.
Two men on. There they go. The pitch lifted up the right field line. That ball, if it's fair, it is a fair ball. Maltuk will score. Longoria will go to third. The Rays get a run as Forsythe winds up at second. And the Rays take a 1-0 lead.
Well, you put the runners in motion and you get this. This ball down and off the plate. Logan Forsythe reaching, just kind of flips that ball down the right field line, and it stays fair.
'29th double of the year for Forsythe. Cabrera waiting, and he shoots this one into the gap. Longoria scores. Forsythe will head to the plate. It's a double for Cabrera, and the Rays have quickly put up 3 runs here in the 4th inning.
Well, and what's the difference here? This is the second time that they've seen him. Kyle Lobstein, he held him down the first time through the lineup. Second time, an idea of the pitches. He's made a couple of mistakes, that being one of them. The pitch to Forsythe, not a mistake, just better job by Forsythe to put that ball in play. But boy, the Rays have pounced, take advantage of that 1-out walk.
Followed by a base hit and 2 doubles. Jeff Jones, the pitching coach for the Tigers, to the mound. So the Rays putting together a 3-run inning so far. Back-to-back doubles by Forsythe and Cabrera. 26th double for Asdrubal. Tim Beckham will hit. He was caught looking in the 2nd inning. The 1 strikeout posted by the Detroit lefty. Coming out swinging here and fouling it, strike 1. Buck Farmer is up in the bullpen. Beckham with 7 home runs, hitting .235 for the year. A ball and a strike. Lobstein missed 3 months with a sore shoulder. Came back, pitched Friday against the Indians. And a throw back to second. And Cabrera is picked off.
They just could not get back to the bag. He got caught hanging out there, and Lobstein going to spin, make the throw, just never gets back. You see that? He tried to pull the right arm away and sneak in with the left. But watch the tag. Look at, there's our right. He just put the glove right in front and kept that left hand from getting to it, getting to the bag. Boy, nice try though by Cabrera. And that, you know, that is what you're seeing now more and more and more because of replay. replay, you've got to tag them. It's not just get the glove there and we're going to call them out. You've got to make the tag. So you put it there, you take it away. He tries to sneak in the left-hand back door. Not working.
That's a strike called, and Beckham out on strikes for the second time. Rays settle for the 3 runs and lead 3-0.
Heading into the bottom of the 4th, Logan Forsythe was named the American League Player of the Week this week, which leads us to our next Web Wednesday question. You can send those at SunSportsRays on Twitter or email us sunsportsrays@gmail.com. David DeGroot wants to know, true or false, Dwayne and BA, Logan Forsythe is the most valuable Ray this season?
Well, you could make a great case for that because he's certainly been the most consistent Ray from the beginning of the year to this day. All you got to do is look at his numbers.
Well, you're right. And, if you go back and just look at his batting average at the close of every month of the season, it varies by 8 to 10 points. I mean, it's like 280. The next month it ended at 290. Then 285, 291. I mean, just right down the line, the consistency of the batting average, the on-base percentage, the defense that he gives you out at second base. Long ago he passed, the most games he's played at the big league level in a season, long time ago. And he has showed zero signs of slowing down.
Yeah, that's been the great thing about him. You'll get a player who hasn't played that much before, and you get to this time of the year, it's noticeable. It has not been that way with him.
You keep saying it's going to show up in his swing. He's got quick hands, quick twitch hands, and you wait for those to kind of slow down a little bit, but they don't. And that allows him to see the ball a little bit longer than other guys. You can trust your hands, and then you can let him fire. That guy sitting to his left with the lettuce can make a case for him too, having an unbelievable statistical year.
And Castellanos is out on strikes. Second strikeout for Odorizzi tonight. And it will get Tyler Collins to the plate. Collins up from Toledo. Second time around this season with the Tigers. Pitch a little wide. Collins hitting .247 with Toledo this year. And the fastball by him. 1-1. And another fastball up and by him. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, Jake Odorizzi, his style of pitching is to stress the strike zone. Work down in the zone, then the fastball up at the top of the zone, above, change up below, like that.
How about that? A couple of fastballs to get him there, and then that.
Yeah, and that's what he does. And he'll use the changeup to set up the heater that's up. He'll throw a couple of heaters up to change the eye level and set that pitch up. It's a great combo, and he utilizes them very well.
Pitch to Marte. 1 ball, no strikes. Two balls, no strikes. Marte retired in the second on a nice play by Beckham. There's a strike, 2-1. Beckham heading out into center field from his second base spot to corral a popper off the bat of Marte. Big cut and a foul ball back. 2-2. And that's a little wide. Full count. And just a little piece of that one to stay alive with that foul ball.
Yeah, that pitch tied him up. Just kind of awkward swing, able to just get a piece. Just get it close. He's going to swing the bat.
And strike 3 call. A call third strike. Odorizzi strikes out the side. You got Castellanos to start the inning. Got him swinging. And he got Collins swinging on the change. Marte looking at this one. Here's the Geico great moment in history on this date in 2008. Dan Johnson called up that same day from the Durham Bulls. Pinch hits in the ninth with the Rays trailing 4-3 and belts that game-tying home run off Jonathan Papelbon. Who could forget that?
How about the fact that he was supposed to be in the starting lineup that day and got to the field late? The connection was late. He had to wait around before his heroics.
Well, there was some great moments that year, and that's certainly one of them.
Wow.
1-0, the count now to James Loney. Loney, Schaefer, and then Aaron Sebia due up. Three and 0. Takes it for a strike. There's ball 4. Loney is on base again. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is celebrating 13 years. Keep an eye on the Rays competition and watch every out-of-market game live or on demand in true HD on over 400 mobile and connected devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV. Schaefer takes the first pitch for a strike.
He's trying to get Richie Schaefer to reach again to get another ground ball. Got him to hit into a double play his last time up. Trying to entice him once again. You know, this
1-1 count.
This is where, as a right-handed hitter, there has to be a willingness to shoot the ball the other way on lob seed. Leaves one out over the plate, then let the hands go to work. You can do that because the velocity's not going to blow you away, but you've got to, if you're trying to pull pitches like that, it's just not going to go well for you. Think about the Rays hits. Mistake to Loney out over the plate. And you think about that double that Cabrera hit out over the plate. The fastball that Longoria pulled was a fastball in.
Now 3 balls and a strike.
Ooh, I could go for a gumball right now. Like 5 of them.
High popper down the right side. That's going to fall out of play and run the count all the way out to 3-2. Popped up, right side foul, and grabbed there by Marte. Not necessarily in routine fashion, but he did grab it.
And got a little dicey there at the end. There we go. Got a beat on it. Looked better in real time.
Here's J.P. Aaron Sebia, who's been swinging a very hot bat. That's a strike. Decided to give you a little help.
What'd you do?
With the look. You're going to change it a little bit more.
Yeah.
The facial hair.
Just going to tweak it.
A lot of it gone, but how should you tweak it? That's foul out of play. So just put it on my Facebook page.
Oh, you did?
And asking how should BA alter his new look.
Well, you know how that's going to turn out.
You're going to get a lot of great suggestions.
Well, we'll see.
You will.
We'll see.
A lot of people care.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm talking about.
One ball, two strikes.
That's not going to go well for me.
Well, hey, we're going to have the rest of the night. Tomorrow's a day off.
You're going to have to text me and tell me what I need to do.
And then Friday.
Yeah,
we'll have it ready for Friday. And see who had the best suggestion. And there you are.
Well,
you'll interpret it. Strike three call to Aaron Sebia.
Well, not often you get caught looking on a changeup, but that's exactly what happened there. 81 miles an hour. Actually, that may have been a breaking ball, backdoor variety. Started it off the plate away and broke it right to the corner. That makes a little more sense.
Brandon Guyer. Ground ball right side out of the reach of Kinsler. Down to second goes Loney.
Well, what did we just talk about? The willingness to go the other way. If it's a mistake not out over the plate, then you've got to be able to take that pitch away. And look at Brandon Guyer, just wait on it, let it get into the zone, and poke it in the hole. Well done. By the way, when you check on that poll, on the Facebook poll on your Facebook page, there's a friend request awaiting you that you may want to accept.
Oh, really?
Yep. It would really help everybody out.
There's a little tap foul by Matuk.
It would be good for the camaraderie of the crew. If you would please accept that friend request.
Let's take a look.
Yeah. You might want to go ahead and click that now. Yeah, just click it now.
Okay.
There you go. That'll be a nice ride home now.
Foul ball. Out of play, 2 strikes. Loney at second base. Guyer's at first. 2 men on, 2 men out. Right back into the screen. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Rays put up 3 runs in the 4th. They lead 3-0 with 2 outs. Put men at first and second for Mikey Matuk. Oh, strike 3 call. A couple of big strikeouts looking in that inning for Lobstein. Rays lead 2, and they lead 3-0. We raise up for Malik Brooks and Junior Achievement Tampa Bay. Malik plans to join the Air Force to be a paralegal after he graduates high school next year, and credits programs like JA BizTown, JA Pathways, and the JA Entrepreneurial Academy for making his plans a reality. We raise up for education. How do you raise up? Alex Avila, the Detroit catcher, leads off. First pitch is away. Fastball out there from Odorizzi. Jake with 4 strikeouts. He's given up a walk. No runs, 4 hits. Shift is on for Avila, who fouls that pitch back, 1-1. Liner into right. That will fall in. A couple of hops picked up by Matuk. And the leadoff man aboard here. 1 on, nobody out in the 5th. Let's check in with Emily.
Dwayne, first off, thank you for accepting my friend request. I think that not only is my Web Wednesday complete, but I feel like my life is complete that we are now Facebook friends. I know you're really popular, but eventually you'll see my comment. You can just share that with BA.
Okay.
But back to our Web Wednesday. I'm trying to stay focused here. Web Wednesday question. This one comes from Christopher. What should the Rays do next year when they essentially have 8 MLB starters?
All right, good question. Pitch is high. Machado.
Well, I think that anytime you're dealing with a position of strength, you want depth. You know, you very rarely are you going to make it through a full season with just 5 starters. Look at this year. Look how many starters the Rays have had to use this year because of injury. So you want to build some depth, but if you feel like you've got enough, then maybe you start to think about what you may be able to get for one of them. Can you get a bat? Can you get an impact type bat? I mean,
well, and you think about that, despite all the injuries, and the Rays have really had, not to make excuses, every club has injuries, but they've really had to mix and match and be creative. Now a base hit from Machado, and the first 2 men are on. Avila advances to second. And despite all the injuries, that's one area where the Rays have gone looking is for offense until the last month plus. So you could certainly make a case if you could deal from a position of strength. You look for that opportunity and then add to the offense.
And that would be something, because I would imagine that the way that the Rays have been swinging the bats since the beginning of August, the manner in which they've been swinging the bats, that's going to stay. Why wouldn't it? You saw the difference in the numbers, almost a full run more, and it's a pretty good sample size now. You're talking 6 weeks.
Anthony goes, puts down a bunt, play at third, out there. Odorizzi goes to Longoria to get the catcher Avila running.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was like a Jake Odorizzi quarterback making a read. You know, first read right there. Oh yeah, I can do this. And he realizes he's got time and makes a nice firm throw to Longoria to cut down that lead runner and make that bunt null and void.
Well, you've got speed putting the bunt down, and you've got the catcher going second to third. So if the bunt's a little hard, you've got a chance at third. And he cut him down. Here's Ian Kinsler. Kinsler hit a bullet down to third in the third. Fouls this one out of play. Kinsler 0 for 2. foul back. 0-2. Rays put up 3 in the 4th. We're in the bottom of the 5th. They lead 3-0. 2 men on for Detroit with 1 out. Into right field. That's going to carry out to Montauk, who makes the catch. Tag at second. Machado heads to third and gets in there ahead of the throw. Ghost hangs on at first. So Kinsler's retired. That ball had enough carry to give Montauk the chance to get over there and make the play.
Yeah, and you know, he was able to run that down and make like a low basket catch. You see right here, eyes on it. Now reach, okay, into the pocket. Now turn and throw, showing off the arm there. And Evan Longoria all the while keeping an eye on Ghost at first, making sure he stays there.
There's Miguel Cabrera. A little bit wide with an opening fastball. Cabrera tonight doubled up the left field line in the first and walked on 4 pitches in the third. He is 2 for 3 counting tonight in his matchup with Jake Odorizzi. Big cut and a miss. 1-1. Cabrera, the leading hitter in the majors. The best on base percentage in the American League and 4th in slugging percentage. Upstairs, 2-1. Low, and a nice job blocking that pitch by Aaron Sebia. Cabrera started to go, but checked in plenty of time.
Breaking ball down and away. A little bit of movement. He's looking for confirmation himself. Everybody asking. Be careful here. 3-1.
And a cut and a miss. Fastball 3-1. Now it's full up.
He's been able to sneak 2 of those fastballs. That one 93 by Miguel Cabrera. Can you do it 3 times? You go change up.
3-2. He got him. He struck him out. Fastball with just a little extra on that one. 3 fastballs to strike him out. 2 left, and the Rays lead 3-0. two-base hit by Logan Forsythe scored Mikey Montook, and then it was Asdrubal Cabrera's double up the alley in left center field, chasing home two more to cap that 3-run fourth for Jake Odorizzi.
And how about the job that Jake Odorizzi did that last half inning? You know, if you're going to have a very good outing, you're going to have an inning where you get pushed a little bit. He gives up a base hit to the 8 and 9 hole hitters for the Tigers, and then comes back 1, 2, and 3 and strikes out Cabrera on 3 fastballs. Outstanding work.
So the ball game moves into the 6th. Evan Longoria leading off against the left-hander Kyle Lobstein. Evan 1 for 2. And that pitch breaking down and in, swinging over it. It's 0-2. Rays put a walk and 3 hits together in the 4th for those 3 runs. Lodi had a single in the 3rd. Geyer a single in the 5th. Well, Evan Longoria, our Toyota trend, you can take a look, including postseason, when you put September and October together, he's at 53. That home run total is a little over a quarter of the home runs he's hit in his career.
Well, and if you do the math there, 217 games since we've been doing math, 53 home runs, that's about 1 every 4 games. Do that over a season. That's a 40 home run pace in that time frame. So he gets it done.
Count holding at 2-2.
Think about how many times he's hit home runs on the final day of the season.
Yep.
I mean, for a while there, he had a streak going. It may still be going. Think about game 162 a couple of years ago.
This one is down. Well, you know, we talked about what he's done kind of quietly in a way to have 200 home runs and 250 doubles. The first third baseman in Major League history to do that, to open his career here in his 8th year.
It is pretty incredible when you think about it, and you go back to those numbers. You know, this is the greatest time of year to play baseball. You talk about September baseball, you know, cool, crisp in the air, meaningful games, pennant race, playoff chase, and then into October. There's nothing that beats October baseball. And you got a guy that rises to the occasion.
Here's Logan Forsythe after the strikeout of Evan.
I mean, really, you think about it. The only thing that beats September and October baseball is September and October football. That's the only thing. Other than that,
even then,
baseball's the greatest.
I mean, I
can't believe it's that time of year is what I can't believe.
I guess. I just look at you in disbelief.
Oh,
I mean, if you're in the race, September, it's great.
It fires you up. You watch football all day, and then you go take the field at night and get it on.
Yep. You don't even have time to shave then.
No. See?
High fly ball into right center field. Pretty well tagged. That ball's going to go. Home run for Logan Forsythe. Logan's 16th home run of the year. His second hit tonight, and the Rays take a 4-0 lead.
Well, that willingness to go the other way. And how about for Logan Forsythe with authority? And again, it goes back to the hand speed. Quick hands, quick bat, powerful bat. That ball was driven into right center field.
So Forsythe gives the Rays another run. Here's Asdrubal Cabrera. Strike one. 5th home run given up by Lobstein, and now 10 starts, and all 5 have come from right-handed hitters.
Think about the night, the adjustments just in one hitter. Think about the adjustment Logan Forsythe made. First at bat, you're going to get pitched away, you're going to ground ball at shortstop. Then all of a sudden flips a double down the line and hammers one into right field for a home run. Making the adjustment. Realize if you're going to stay away from me, I'm going to start hitting you that way. Not try to pull it.
Well, Cabrera's out on strikes for the second out of the inning. Here's Tim Beckham. Beckham twice tonight has been called out on strikes. And he misses the breaking ball. Strike one. Six strikeouts in the game for the Detroit lefty. Fly ball back into left center field. Collins on the run. That's got carry. And that one is out of here. Into the bullpen. Home run number 8 this year for Beckham. And the Rays tack on another run. It's a 5-0 ball game. So 2 home runs in the inning.
Keep swinging hard. Keep swinging hard. This breaking ball stays up and out over the plate, and Tim Beckham full extension and loud contact. The mistakes have been crushed.
So Brad Ausmus out to make a pitching change. That's it for the 26-year-old lefty. The Rays have a 5-0 lead, and we'll be back in a moment. Logan Forsythe and Tim Beckham.
Well, that breaking ball hanging, and Beckham ended the night of Kyle Lobstein, and the Rays have jumped out and opened up a 5-run lead.
So 89 pitches for Lobstein tonight, and the new pitcher for the Detroit Tigers is George Runny Farmer, otherwise known as Buck Farmer. He's on to face James Loney.
Where did you find that? They're good. Real good.
Well, Loney's been on twice tonight with a single and a walk. Pitch is in there for a strike. You know, we talked about Loney and going after the first pitch. He's hitting over 333 off the first pitch this year. Here's a guy, overall a pretty patient hitter, but a guy who swings at the first pitch that often. I mean, technically, he'd be an aggressive hitter.
Yeah, well, he is when he gets his pitch. See, that's the thing. He's able to stay disciplined. And, certain pitchers, especially ones that are around the strike zone, he'll go up there with the idea, look, this guy likes to throw strikes. He likes to throw strikes. He's got a high first pitch strike percentage, whoever it may be. And that's the approach. I'm going to go up there, and if he's throwing me the get me over strike one pitch, I'm going to tattoo it.
Well, Loney missing a couple of chunks of time this year with 2 trips to the disabled list. So Loney has 79 hits. I'll take that back. No, he does. He has 79 hits now. 19 of those have come on the first pitch. Full count against Farmer. Up the middle, sharply hit and threw into center. Well, for Loney, the 3-2 pitch is the new first pitch. And he drilled that one through the middle.
Well, you see, this is what he's able to do, okay? You go after the first pitch because a guy makes a mistake. In this at-bat, Farmer had actually made some pretty good pitches on him for strikes, to the edges, a fastball in, a fastball down and away. He doesn't go after those. He waits him out, gets to full, gets a pitch out over, back up the middle. That's just a hitter with a plan. Discipline.
Richie Schaefer misses this one. Strike one.
A little undisciplined on that swing.
A young hitter who's hit a lot of home runs this year. And right now, that seems to be his approach.
And people are taking note. So, there'll have to be some adjustments made by Richie, like with every young hitter. But see, they're going to try to entice him out of the zone. If you see swings like that on the first pitch, it's almost like a predetermined swing. It's like when you go to the airport and the lady right before you, after you check in, says, have a nice flight, and you go, you too. So you've already anticipated the response, and it doesn't fit. And that's what he did with the swing right there.
I like that. Into center field. Ghost is right there, almost in his tracks. Rays are retired in the 6th inning, but they get 2 on a home run by Logan Forsythe, and then one by Tim Beckham. And so the Rays have built a 5-0 lead. the dealers. Well, the Rays building a 5-run lead moving into the bottom of the 6th inning. Odorizzi in a little spot back in the 5th, and he got out of that, getting Kinsler on a line drive to right and Cabrera on strikes. J.D. Martinez begins the bottom of the 6th. Pitch is up. He'll be followed by Nick Castellanos and Tyler Collins. Towering popper, shallow right. Ma took a lot of time to get there. One away. So Martinez retired for the 3rd time tonight. One out into the 6th, and here's Castellanos. 83 pitches into the 6th inning for Odorizzi. Jake trimming about 2 pitches an inning this year from last year when he averaged 18 pitches an inning, and just a little over 16 pitches an inning so far this year.
Look at the measurables, Dwayne, on Jake Odorizzi. Walks per 9 down, strikeouts per 9 down slightly, hits per 9 down, homers per 9, everything down, everything becoming more efficient. You know, he can go get the strikeout when he needs it, but he'd rather let you put the ball in play early and use his defense. That in turn lowers the pitches per inning, the total pitch count, and theoretically lets you get deeper into games, which was the goal coming into the season.
And what he's really needed most of the year is run support.
Yes. Yes. I mean, as well as Jake has pitched all year, and he missed a little bit of time with that oblique issue, but as well as he's pitched for most of the year, to have 6 wins in the middle of September, just unfathomable, but it is. It goes back to that run support.
Yep.
Well, there you go.
Take a look at that. Lowest in the American League.
And by a wide margin.
Two on the Tigers' third baseman.
And that would seem to fit. You know, you're not scoring a lot. They're not scoring a lot. The bullpen is going to get the decision. And boy, has the Rays bullpen logged the decisions this year.
Yep. That's strike 3 called. Castellanos out on strikes. 2 up, 2 down in the 6th.
Well, absolutely locked up on that fastball and knew what the call was going to be.
Well, 6 strikeouts for Odorizzi, and 5 have come in the last 10 hitters. Now Tyler Collins. One strike to count. Oh, 2.
Boy, he powered that fastball right by him. There's a perfect example. 93, and Collins swung at it. It makes you think it was 97. I mean, just tardy.
Fouls it back.
It's one of the better fastballs we've seen out of Jake all season. We've seen it in that 93, 94 range quite a bit.
He got Cabrera the last 2 pitches to him. He was down 3-1, goes 93 for strike 2, 94 for strike 3. One and 2 to Collins. Well, bouncing away, got a bit of Aaron Sebia.
And you wonder if it kicked some dirt up in his eyes.
Ground ball, and Beckham's out there in shallow right to take care of that. 1, 2, 3, go the Tigers. On to the 7th, 5-0 Rays. Epic meals, epic deals. By Grow Financial. Don't go through life, grow through life. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. And by your Tampa Bay Mazda dealers. There's a good look, perhaps. A little nostalgic, perhaps, B.A.
Yeah, I'm a long way from that.
In the 7th, J.P. Arancibia pops it up foul. Out of play for a strike. J.P. has popped to short and was called out on strikes in the 5th inning. That against Lobstein, now facing Farmer. There's a drive back into deep left. Collins will run out of room. That one is gone. Arancibia belting his 4th home run since joining the Rays from Durham. For the Rays, home run number 3 tonight.
I think they've all come on this road trip. We got it started back in Baltimore. And we've got a visit with the trainer and Brad Ausmus to the mound. That ball was laced.
The Rays have now built a 6-run lead. The last 3 coming on solo home runs, 2 off Lobstein, and now this one off Farmer. And that's going to be it for the Detroit right-hander. So an injury. He will depart, and we will return in a moment. making it 6-0. In the game tonight and all season, Tires Plus donates $100 to the Pediatric Cancer Foundation for every Tampa Bay Rays home run televised on Sun Sports. 4 of his last 8 hits have gone for home runs.
Boy, that fastball just above the belt, middle of the plate. You could see by the reaction of Avila. I think everybody knew that ball was going to get out of here.
You know, not only does he have 4 homers in his last 8 at-bats, or his last 8 hits, but 7 of those have been for extra bases. He has 4 home runs and 3 doubles in his last 8 hits.
Watch him swing the bat. I mean, you watch him swing the bat, you hear those numbers and you go, oh, you know what? That's about right. I mean, he's a guy that does not get cheated at all.
So he's opened the 7th inning with a home run. Buck Farmer leaves in favor of Jeff Farrell, who will be making only his 4th appearance of the year for the Tigers. Recalled from Toledo just prior to the game last Friday. In his 2nd stint, he was up for a time in July. So Farrell getting as much time as he needs. And he'll be the 3rd pitcher utilized by Brad Ausmus and Jeff Jones tonight. As promised earlier in the game, we've selected the Data Strong fan photo of the contest. Just tweet your strongest fan photo to hashtag #SSDataStrongFan for a chance to be featured in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. Third of an inning for Farmer. 2 hits and a run, the home run. And the top of the order, Brandon Geyer, will be up here against Farrell. First pitch inside. Fastball in. Two and 0. Geyer had a base hit in the 5th, giving him 1 for 3. He got the start against the left-hander Kyle Lobstein. And he's ahead of Farrell, 3-1. Mikey Matuk on deck. Ground ball to the young shortstop Machado. That's the first out in the 7th.
Well, a lot of early action for Machado, and the Rays wisely kept the ball away from him for most of the game, building that 6-run lead. He had a hand in 6 of the first 9 outs of the game.
Mikey Mott took 0 for 2. He walked and scored. In fact, he scored the first run of the game for the Rays in the 4th inning. And during the second time through the order, they started to get to Kyle Lobstein. High shot back into deep center field. That's well tagged and is out of here. He gave that one a ride. What a shot by Matuk. His 4th home run of the year. The Rays now have hit 4 home runs tonight, and they will take a 7-0 lead. You've got to hit that ball to get it out of here. And he hit it over the back fence.
Boy, that ball was absolutely blistered by Matuk. Boy, it's a fastball down and away, too. And he gets full extension. Look at that, just a flip of the wrist. And that ball goes. That's big boy land out there. Look at this. That's not a terrible pitch. Knees outside corner.
Well, that's some extraordinary power on display there by Matuk.
I mean,
that's impressive.
It really is. Who do these guys think they are?
1-1 the count to Evan Longoria. 2-1. So here they are, the Rays, with 10 hits again tonight. Well, that's something for the most of the year. The Rays really struggle to put any number of hits together. And since August, it has not been uncommon for them to be in double figures in the hit department. In fact, that's 4 games in a row now. They've had at least 10 hits. And there's ball 4. So the Rays get another base runner. Well, Logan Forsythe is due, and we're going to see a trip to the mound by the pitching coach, Jeff Jones. Ground ball out, then the long home run and a walk to Longoria. And Farrell gets a visit from Jones before Logan Forsythe can step in. Well, Logan Forsythe has had a good night. A double and a home run. His home run was into right center and out of here. Fastball is up. It's too low, 2-0. Well, Logan Forsythe continues to swing a great bat. Our GMC big matchup, including what he's done tonight in the last 23 games, hitting .344 with a slugging percentage of .533.
And that on base, they're closing in on 400. Now it's numbers like that while you're reigning American League Player of the Week.
Out of play, 2-1. 3 runs for the Rays in the 4th. Then 2 runs on solo homers in the 6th. 2 more home runs on solo home runs in the 7th. And it's now 3-1. Cabrera is on deck. Forsythe, did he go? That's a strike, says Tim Welke. The count is full.
Just a hair too far on that pitch down. As good as he's been, he may have done that on purpose just to get another pitch. He wants to swing, not walk.
It bounces it foul, hopping up into the stands. Lobstein started, 5 off him, 1 off Farmer, 1 off Farrell. And there's ball 4. So 2 walks following the home run. 2 men on with only 1 out. As Jubal Cabrera will bat, and Avila goes to the mound to spend some time with Farrell.
Just let them know where the strike zone is. Some directions.
Farrell, a 24-year-old right-hander. And Cabrera misses that one.
That was a nice changeup right there. 82. Seen that fastball approaching that mid-90s mark. You got an aggressive hitter, drop a changeup, and Cabrera just a hair too soon.
One and one, another one low. Lifted into left. Collins in line to make the catch. 2 outs, and the runners hold at first and second. Tim Beckham homered in the 6th inning. He is 1 for 3. Beckham's 8th home run of the year.
Kyle Lobstein. Oh, that shot right there.
Takes the pitch down. His 2nd home run on this road trip. He hit one over in Baltimore off the right-hander Brad Brock. Connects off the left-hander Lobstein tonight.
Well, you think this Rays team was a little bit angry about how the ball game went last night?
Yeah, it was not a pleasant evening for the Rays, and a very quiet group heading back to the hotel.
Sure was. Sure was. Well, you know, you had that early lead, 5-1, that went away rather quickly, and then it was just a back and forth affair all night, and I mean all night into the morning.
Yeah, literally all night.
Those are obviously just brutal games to lose. You know, you're out there laying it on the line for 5 hours, over 5 hours, and you walk away with a loss. But
there were 9 lead changes in that game last night.
Yeah, I mean, well, truly back and forth.
Three and one.
Well, here it was, Rajai Davis. Sacrifice fly. Imagine that, a sacrifice fly. Davis scores McCann.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, that's been a bad combination for the Rays on this road trip. Players named Davis and McCann.
On all stops.
Yeah.
Chris
Baltimore,
Davis,
New York,
yeah.
and here.
Yeah, I mean, uncle on these guys.
Runners going. The pitch is fouled off his foot. And he'll try to run that one off.
Boy, straight down on the instep, looked like. Yee. Here's a good shot of it. Yeah, right off that instep.
Trying to run it off, literally. Wow. So Beckham will see another 3-2 pitch. Broken bat, the looper into shallow left, out of the reach of Machado. Longoria scores, and the Rays get another run. For Beckham, his second run batted into the night. It's 8-0.
Well, ball gets in, it kind of jams Tim, and he's strong enough to get it outside of the reach of Machado. That's going to score Longoria. The Rays continue to add on. Not often the Rays get games like this where it's just a blowout.
I mean, Jake Odorizzi's not sure what's happening.
He's like, this is going to skew my average. Make it look like I get way too many runs.
Loney swings over the first pitch for a strike. Loney's been on base 3 times, a single, a walk, and a base hit. It's 1-1. The Rays have sent now 8 men to the plate in the 7th inning. Eight runs, 11 hits. One and two. 5 runs off the starter Lobstein, 1 run off Farmer, and now 2 runs off Farrell. Two balls, 2 strikes. Fouled back. Holding the count, 2-2. Beckham at first. Forsythe is on second. And a foul again. Look out. Richie Schaefer ducking that one in the on deck circle next door. And the ball down in the camera well.
And you feel like you're safe then. You know, with the left-handed hitter up, maybe, you know, a right-handed hitter with a guy throwing 100, you're a little nervous. With a lefty, you feel pretty good in that position.
Ground ball
Wow.
through the hole on the left side. Forsythe will stop at third base, and the bases will be loaded. Loney right through the hole on the left side of the infield.
Boy, and watch him go down and get this pitch and just push it out into left field. And by the way, if the Rays wanted that run, they could have had it. Charlie Montoya, the hold sign, look at him. Just follow that changeup and slap it the other way. How many times have we seen him do that?
So the bases are loaded. Brad Ausmus out to make another pitching change. We'll see the fourth Detroit pitcher of the night when we return.
Finale here in Detroit. Richie Schaefer due up for the Rays, the ninth Ray of this inning, which leads to our very last Web Wednesday question. We want to thank all of our viewers for joining in the questions tonight. This one comes from Ken P. What will the Rays do with Richie Schaefer this next year? Both first and third are locked up, so how will he be able to get the playing time?
Well, there's no lock that he'll be on the club next year. You know, he divided this year between AA and AAA. He's got a lot of power. But as we discussed earlier, his approach has been pretty much one-dimensional to this point.
Yeah, and you probably will see the Rays attempt to make some adjustments. You know, maybe cut down a little bit. You know, sometimes that swing has a tendency to get long. It's certainly powerful, but it's long enough to where if it stays like that, it's not going to take pitchers too long to figure out where to go and where to exploit that. So that'll be something that, you know, and he's young. He's a young hitter, and he's getting his first taste of big league action. He's going to, you know, make adjustments, have to make adjustments, and he'll do that. But guess what? If he's able to, you know, to come into the beginning of the year, spring training, and he's swinging a hot bat, the Rays will find a place for him. That's why you see him all over the place. First, third, you see him in the outfield tonight.
He pops it up. It's Marte. Jose Valdez gets Schaefer on the pop to the first baseman in foul territory. Rays send 9 men to the plate. And they have built a big lead here over the Tigers in the middle of the 7th. 8-0. to make it 8-0. Mikey Montook hitting one out to center field. So Jake Odorizzi will call it an evening after 6 innings of shutout baseball.
Well, and he's had a couple of extended sit-downs in that dugout. But I'll tell you, the time he was out there, we said repeat performance when this game started. He was better than that. His last outing against the Tigers, his last win was 6 innings, 6 hits, and a run. Tonight, nothing. 6-6-0. Very tidy, very efficient. Great job.
C.J. Riefenhauser will make his 9th appearance for the Rays. So Odorizzi finishes after 6. And the left-hander comes on with Jeffrey Marte to lead off the bottom of the 7th. Changes defensively as well for the Rays. Luke Maile takes over behind the plate. And up the middle, changes there as well. Pitch down around the feet of Marte. 1 ball, no strikes. Nick Franklin in now at second base. And Tim Beckham moves over to play short. So Cabrera is out of the game. Marte was 0 for 2 against Odorizzi. And Riefenhauser promptly falling behind 3-0. Temperature was 77 degrees when we started. It's now 68. A very comfortable evening here. About a week and a half into September. There's a strike. 3-1. And the pitch inside. So a walk, only the second walk given up by Rays pitching. And you don't want to do that.
No, that is not part of the job description here. With an 8-0 lead, the bottom of the order, you come in and obviously you want your guy in there pumping strikes. That did not happen. Hopefully he can find it here against Avila.
Alex Avila 1 out of 2, singled his last time. There's a strike on a breaking ball. One and one. Rays trying to break even in this season series with the Tigers, down 2-3, and they have the 8-run lead in the bottom of the 7th inning right now. That's a strike. Another breaking pitch, and it's 1-2. Enny Romero, big lefty in the bullpen. Boy, you go from one extreme to the other when it comes to lefties with Riefenhauser. Soft stuff, curveball. Then you get Romero, 98 with the fastball. There is strike 3 called on the curveball. So all 3 of the strikes came on the breaking pitch.
Yeah, that's a slurvy type of breaking ball for Riefenhauser, and very tough on lefties. Look at how he just works that thing all the way across the strike zone right to the outside corner.
You know, and a nice job of receiving that pitch by Maile as well.
You let that glove, you start to let that glove float off the plate. You've got to stick it. I mean, stick it right there on the corner. And if you don't, you're right. A lot of times you won't get the call. Just like that right there. The pitch at the bottom of the zone, you try to get underneath it. That has become such an art form that is really sought after. I mean, that is one, run prevention. That's a big deal now.
Well, they figure a run prevented is as important as a run driven in. And that catching position is so important that way.
Well, and stuff like that, being able to block, catch and throw, being able to receive, soft hands. How do you set up? An 0-2 fastball away, you're going to get off the plate a little bit and then angle yourself back just a hair towards the plate, all the while trying to present the pitch in the best possible light to the umpire.
Down to third, out at second. Franklin's throw to first, right there. 5-4-3 around the horn on that double play to retire the side. So Machado grounds into two, started by Longoria. We go to the eighth, 8-0 Tampa Bay. Our Gold and Diamond Source game summary finds the Rays up 8-0, powered by 4 home runs tonight. Forsythe, Beckham, Aaron Sebia, and Matuk. And Jake Odorizzi, 6 shutout innings of 6-hit baseball. And we go to the 8th. Luke Maile is going to lead off, hitting out of the spot originally occupied by J.P. Aaron Sebia. Maile shoots it into center field. Ghost closes, however, and makes the catch on the line drive for the first out. A couple of defensive changes for the Tigers as we play in the 8th inning. In right field and at second base, we have Josh Wilson in at second, taking over for Kinsler. Stephen Moya is in the game in right field. Brandon Guyer taking a pitch down. Rays looking at Jose Valdez. A 1-1 count. 2 balls and a strike. Out of play.
Well, this is that time of year. You're a team that's in the position that the Tigers are in. You got a series of auditions. What's this team going to look like going forward? Getting a look at some younger pitchers. Valdez here, obviously, with a tremendous arm. But how are you going to shape your team for the following season? Right now, that's what the Tigers playing for. And the Rays trying to keep hope alive.
Well, the Rays starting this game 6.5 back in the wild card with 24 games left. So it makes it more and more difficult as time goes by. A couple of very big losses here in Detroit and a tough loss coming out of New York.
Yeah, and the problem the Rays find themselves in is it's not just 6.5 behind one team.
Yep.
6.5 behind a team with 24 to go. That's going to be tough enough. But it's all the teams in front of you that have to lose too, and you've got to climb over them. And it's a definitely going to be a steep climb. You're going to have to rattle off a bunch of wins.
Geyer sends a fly ball to right, and that ball is misplayed out there by Moya and bounces over the wall out there. He just never really did get much of a read at all on that one.
It's a fly ball to right field, and just watch the route and the uncertainty. Already that's when you knew he's starting to have trouble. Just didn't know where he was. Oh, took his eye off the ball. That's not going to help. And then whiffed it.
Well, it's going to go as a double by Geyer, but badly misplayed by Moya, who's one of the top prospects in the Tigers system. He's getting into the major leagues on this September call-up, and a tough way to start. Here's Mikey Matuka with the long home run to center field in the 7th inning. That home run estimated at 427 feet.
We've seen longer home runs, but I don't know if we've seen longer home runs on a pitch that was not that bad. That ball was, knee high, maybe just above the knees on the outside corner. And he went into deep left center field.
It's popped up. Right side, short right. Moya's there to make the catch on this one. And now they're going to get a double play. Geyer, forgetting that there was only one out, took off. And he is doubled up, trying to get back into second base. He just forgot how many outs there were. So a couple of mistakes on both teams in that inning. Rays continue to lead 8-0. The latest post-game concert from the Rays, performing Saturday, September 19th, after the Rays play the Orioles. Come see Sister Hazel's hits, all for you, and change your mind. For more info, visit raysbaseball.com/concerts or call 888-FAN-RAYS. Rays up. Daniel Nava's in the game in left field now for the Rays. Richie Schaefer's moved in to play third. Andy Romero, the new pitcher, facing the top of the order. Anthony Gose, hard-throwing left-hander. Gose fouls the pitch away. 13th appearance for Andy Romero, and recently we've seen some absolute movement in the right direction for Romero. A little close there to Gose. A great arm. His issue has been to command all of that, and we've started to see some things move in the right direction.
He's really cut down on the walks, which is going to be huge for him, because if you can corral the velocity on this fastball from the left side.
There's a popper into shallow left. Nava is there to make the catch. Yeah, that's another big arm the Rays could put into the mix. And he's showing recently that he's going to get some serious consideration.
Yeah, listen, with some of the injury issues, we found out that, in last night's game, Steve Geltz was not available. Xavier Cedeno was not available. Where would this bullpen be without Romero and Colomé here recently? I mean, they've started to get some, Colomé's gotten some meaningful innings for a while now. Romero has started to get some meaningful innings. And I'll tell you what, they've both come through.
1-0 to Josh Wilson, who fouls it back.
Thing I like about Romero, too, you love the big arm, the fastball, and the way that he's been able to command it here in the last couple of weeks. That little slider. That little slider to go along with it. Boy, it is a nice pitch. We've seen it sharp. It's hard. It plays very well. There you go.
There you are.
I mean, that's filthy.
Yep.
And it's not just to show pitches. You just see. It's not like, look, I have something different. Now I can be effective with it. Too plain.
I'll tell you, that's exciting right there.
Yeah.
You see a young pitcher develop. You like his makeup. He's a pleasant kid. And with that arm and with some command, that could mean good things for him.
You just hope that he continues to build confidence throughout the remainder of this season. And then, hey, you'll see what happens next year. The Rays, that's an important part of their team, is the construction of a bullpen.
Now full count.
But you got to figure that he's going to play an important role going forward in some capacity. The Rays have an opportunity to build a bullpen with a lot of power arms to shorten games. You think about a healthy Jake McGee, Brad Boxberger, Colomé, Romero. I mean, there's four right off the top, not to mention the other guys they got, Geltz, Gomes, right down the list.
And there's a fastball taken for strike three. 2 up and 2 down in the bottom of the 8th inning. Here's what's coming up on Rays Live, the pregame show presented by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. The Rays will be headed home, opening the homestand on Friday, and we'll be with you at 6:30. Chris Archer will open the series against the Red Sox. We'll hear from him. And Doug Wechter is going to break down Mookie Betts.
Yeah, and I'll tell you something. That's going to be a good series, because the Boston Red Sox are starting to win some games. They're starting to swing the bats. In fact, they're the only team that's got a higher average than the Rays since the beginning of August, and they're scoring tons of runs.
Ron Holiday hitting for Cabrera, and Romero's behind him, 2-0. It's always fun when Boston comes in, and they'll be in to start the long homestand for the Rays. The first of just 2 homestands left during the regular season.
Speaking of which,
yes.
Well, it's right here with me, middle of the 6th inning, and Boston has a 10-1 lead over the Blue Jays.
How about that?
Yeah, I mean, teeing off.
That's a reversal of roles lately involving the Blue Jays. There's a nice pitch there, 2-1. And it's 2-2 now.
Well, now he's just showing off. So you're going to go like, oh, look at I'm 2-1 in the count. I'm going to get 96, 98, or that.
So the count is full. Now the Red Sox are in for 3. Then the Yankees come in for 3, and Baltimore for 4. That's a fair ball past the diving Schaefer. It'll be a 2-base hit. A pinch hit double for Holiday.
Able to get it outside of the dive of Richie Schaefer. Selling out for the fastball. He gets out and around it. Richie Schaefer, the backhand, not able to come up with it. He's wondering where that ball ended up.
Steven Moya, young man out of Puerto Rico originally. And the pitch is a ball. Makes his home in the Dominican Republic. And it's a 1-1 count. Big cut there. Last year at Double-A, hit 35 home runs.
Well, already, when you see the big swing, and look how tall and lanky, able to create a ton of leverage. There you go, 6 feet 6 inches tall. You know, you think about right-handed Richie Sexson, how many home runs, how many bombs he used to hit. You know, you're tall, lanky like that with some good bat speed, create leverage, get good lift and carry.
He was up last year for a handful of games with the Tigers. Is out on strikes. The fastball to 99 takes care of him. And we're headed into the 9th with the Rays leading 8-0. Kona Brewing Company. One life, right? Don't blow it. Mahalo. By Hattrick's Tavern. Come join the party we call Hattrick's. And by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. America Park in Detroit. Rays have an 8-0 lead. 13 hits tonight for the Rays. Another double-figure hit night. On to the ninth. And Daniel Nava will lead off. Nava hitting in the third spot. Evan Longoria had a hit and a walk and 2 runs scored. Forsythe will be next against Jose Valdez. Rays scored 3 in the 4th, 2 runs in the 6th, and 3 more in the 7th inning. Now 0-2. Ian Kroll, the lefty, is up in the bullpen. Rays got 5 off Lobstein, 1 off Farmer, and 2 off Farrell. A 4-home run night for the Rays.
Very nice little backhand pick right there.
That's Kirby Yates just getting up in the Rays bullpen. Let's take a look at the handiwork behind the plate.
Pretty swift.
And a cut and a miss. So that's the first out here in the 9th. First strikeout for Valdez. Reminder fans, the perfect addition to any window with the DJ Kitty Plush Window Cling presented by Tradewinds Island Resorts. All fans can take one home with them on Saturday while supplies last. That's when the Rays take on the Red Sox. For tickets, call 888-FAN-RAYS or visit RaysBaseball.com. Rays up. Logan Forsythe throws it out to short. Machado takes care of that. A couple of outs in the 9th inning. Well, Nick Franklin, who entered the game at second base in the 7th inning, hitting in the spot originally occupied by Cabrera.
Okay, so we're talking about the Rays, the playoff hunt. What do they have to do, Dwayne, on the next homestand? You got a 10-gamer against the East.
Yep.
I mean, where are you going?
Well,
minimum wins.
You know, we have talked about over the last week or 2 weeks that the team that can put together a 7-8, win 8 out of 9, they can make a move. They're really at a point now. They're going to be home for 10. They're going to need 8 or 9 of those games and then get some help.
Yeah. 8 or 9 may get you within a couple of games.
Yeah.
3 or 4.
Yeah. And then they're going to need some help as Franklin fouls out. So we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. It's 8-0 Tampa Bay.
Tigers in this series finale. It's a great Web Wednesday here in Detroit. We are going to wrap things up tonight with the Rays live postgame show presented by Checkers. Orestes and Rich will host the pregame show or postgame show. Wow, we're not going to start the whole game over, guys, I promise. Host the postgame show from this studio. I will go in the clubhouse and get interviews from Jake Odorizzi, maybe ask him for what seems like the first time this year, what it feels like to pitch with such run support. We'll also have Kevin Cash's press conference.
And the Rays will carry this big lead into the bottom of the ninth inning, trying to close out what would be a combination shutout. Kirby Yates on the hill, and Nick Castellanos will lead it off. He'll be followed by Tyler Collins and Jeffrey Marte. 13th appearance for Yates. Six innings from Odorizzi, one from Riefenhauser, and one for Romero. Castellanos 0 for 3 with a couple strikeouts, and there's a first pitch strike from Kirby Yates. Ground ball to third. Schaefer up with this one, and he throws a strike to first to Loney. That's the first out here. Well, the Rays will have a day off tomorrow and then go home. 3 against Boston, 3 against New York, and 4 against Baltimore. And if they're going to get anything done, now is the time, starting Friday night.
Yeah, it is go time. It's pedal to the metal, and you can't afford any more hiccups.
There's Collins. A cut and a miss, strike one. So the wild card, the Rays 6.5 back. But Texas making a real move. Right now, the second wild card team, there's a good shot that they could win the West.
They're 1 game back.
Yep.
1 game back.
Even in the loss column.
Yes. Yes.
So it could be a Texas-Houston battle. There's the West right now.
How about it?
One ball, 2 strikes.
Well, it's all about jockeying for position, and teams are going to sell out. You don't want the wild card. I mean, if that's your only option, it's your only option. But any chance at that division, you are all out for that. That guarantees you a series. The wild card is a crapshoot. It's a 1-game do-or-die playoff.
Shot toward the corner and right, but that's a foul ball. So Collins making a bid for an extra base hit.
How about when the Rangers made the trade for Cole Hamels?
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of said, what are they going with here?
They got him, and they started to get some people back.
Yeah. Looks pretty good now.
It sure does. I think a lot of people saw Houston out in front, pretty good sized lead. Thought they might cakewalk it in. Not going to be the case.
No, they've played 2 more games. You know, Texas wins those 2 games. They are tied.
And that is strike 3 called. 2 up and 2 down here in the ninth.
Well, to any time a hitter calls himself out, you know it's a good pitch. Right here, Collins doesn't even wait to hear.
Yeah,
he just starts the march. Yep.
That's the 10th strikeout for Rays pitching. So they have 13 hits and 10 strikeouts and an 8-0 lead. And a first pitch strike to Jeffrey Marte. And a popper foul. Yates ahead in the count, 0-2. Well, the Rays trying to close it out, get their 4th win on this road trip, and head home to open the big homestand. It's 1-2. One-two delivery is foul back, so we'll see another one. Jake Odorizzi, who worked 6 shutout innings, in a position to get his first win since the 28th of July. And he's had some starts in there when he certainly pitched well enough to win after his 7th. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Odorizzi worked 6. Riefenhauser 1, Romero 1, now Yates. Two. Chopper foul. Rays scored 3 in the 4th. Forsythe's double started the scoring. Cabrera doubled home a couple. Forsythe and Beckham hit solo home runs in the 6th inning. Matuk and Aaron Sebe hit solo home runs in the 7th. Beckham drove in a run with a base hit. And here's a pop-up to the left side. That's Tim Beckham at short, making the catch, and the Rays are winners tonight. A 1-2-3 9th inning for Kirby Yates, and the Rays have taken the final game of the series here in Detroit. It's an 8-0 final for the Rays. 8-13-1, 5 left for the Tigers. No runs, 7 hits, no errors with 7 left. And Jake Odorizzi will get his 7th win of the year. He is 7-8. Lobstein, the losing pitcher, now 3-7.